Ooh, ancient province.
Biomutant is a fun game. It has been criticized, and rightly so, I think, for being a little too ambitious with all the systems that it mashes together. But that doesn't detract from the enjoyment that I'm getting out of the game. That said, I do wish that the religious and spiritual themes that are brought up in the game were less of a mishmash and more true to the Eastern traditions that so evidently inspire this game. There is something I think could be properly called religion evident, at least a little bit, in Biomutant, but to answer the question raised in the thumbnail, Biomutant is not consistent in its approach to religion. And I think that in the end, that's a weakness rather than a strength. And I want to talk in this video specifically about the morality system that is present in Biomutant, the aura system. In order to do that properly, we're going to have to take some time to listen to what the game says about its metaphysics and about the way morality works in the game. So the best way to do that is to look at the initial presentation of the morality system that comes right at character creation. So let's do that and then talk about it.
We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your ki, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you. Your inner voice, to be precise. An echo of the balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Can't believe you'd choose that thing over me. But I'll be here waiting for you when you have a change of heart.
That thing? I'm right here. Let me remind you, we're two halves of the same. With the difference being I'm the better half.
Better half. My way is both better and brighter. Light makes it easier to see the best end.
The best end is the one you decide yourself, and it seems we're headed in the right direction.
What you just saw was the introduction to the morality system called Aura in Biomutant. And this character I had make the dark choice. And the dialogue between these two little entities that pop out of your character, almost like an angel and a demon on your shoulder, reveals a little bit about the metaphysics of the game. So Biomutant tells us that the world is filled with ki, the primal energy that flows through everything. And that tracks with Taoism. But then the two entities start to have a conversation with each other. And again, the game makes it clear that these entities are manifestations of your own inner voice, your conscience perhaps, your own ki manifesting itself to you. But rather than manifesting the traditional understanding of yin and yang, of light and dark, as being complementary and equally good, there's an immediate contrast between a more selfish and a more selfless way of living that is presented by the light and the dark entities. When we hear the dialogue that happens if you choose the light rather than the dark after character creation, we get an even more explicit confirmation that the contrast between light and dark is more of a direct conflict. Let's take a listen.
We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your ki, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise, an echo of balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around, eventually.
But what comes around goes all the way back around. So, it's better to stick to your instincts. You can't fight what's in your nature.
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all about natural selection, survival of the strongest and so forth. If that's not instinct, then I don't know what is.
Natural selection is all about evolution and progress, and as soon as there's enough light, darkness will disappear.
As soon as there's enough light, darkness will disappear. That is not the type of language one would use to express that light and dark are in complementary relation to one another. The idea that light must overcome dark or dark must overcome light is pretty foreign to Taoism and to the idea of yin and yang, which of course is not exclusive to Taoism. But it definitely is a main part of the morality within Abrahamic religions, of course, with light, with good being the one expected to triumph over dark or evil in the end. And the whole angel and devil on your shoulder thing kind of gives the game away a bit. You start off with the idea of balance, with the idea of complementarity between yin and yang, but then you move very quickly to light good, dark bad, light selfless, dark selfish. The darkness wants to snuff out the light wants to annihilate the dark. That light and dark are in conflict rather than complementary is further underscored by the information given to us when you look at the tribes subsection of the pause menu. You can go through each tribe, and that's what I'm doing here in the video. I want you to take a look at each tribe, their dogma on the upper left side of the screen, and the description of what their aura means on the upper right side of the screen. It doesn't talk about the idea that light side would be more about action and initiation, whereas the dark side might be more about waiting and receptivity. The war between the tribes could have been based on philosophical misunderstandings. Some of the tribes want to actively intervene and save the world tree. Other tribes want to allow the world tree to perish, allow the world eaters to do what they want to do. But when we look at what the aura description is for these tribes, we find that the traditionally good characteristics are associated with the light tribes: compassion, honor, caring about others, service to others being more important than selfish desires. And the dark tribes are about chaos, destruction, domination, and selfishness. This is not in line with the traditional understanding of how light and dark function, how yin and yang function, yin being dark and yang being light, in Taoism. So in terms of the idea of respecting the natural world, I think BIOMUTANT can say that it certainly pays tribute to traditional Taoist understanding there, but the aura system, the way that light and dark are represented, does not make sense. And the problem is, the aura symbol is a modified yin-yang symbol. By doing that, by choosing to present itself in this way, the aura system is misrepresenting the way that yin and yang are understood in traditional Taoism. Now, it's not a complete loss, one could argue, if you look at the way how the dark tribes tend to want to allow the Tree of Life to be destroyed. You could say that that's an expression of passivity and allowing things to happen and acceptance of the way things are. But we cannot ignore the description of the aura. The aura description is much more in line with what you would understand from an Abrahamic faith, where you would get an actual angel and an actual devil on the shoulder, tempting the hero to act in an evil way or in a good way. Now, I must admit that I have not finished this game yet. Indeed, I've been working on side quests. I only have about 20 hours of gameplay in, and there may be something that happens in the storyline that will redeem the way that Biomutant has represented Taoism. It's possible that it becomes a little bit more consistent, but I haven't seen it yet, and my suspicion is that it's not going to happen. And I think that's a real shame. I think that if the morality system, if the aura system was less about right and wrong and more about the understanding of yin and yang being passive or active, I think you could have had some more interesting gameplay elements and some more interesting narrative elements. For example, you could have had combat be influenced by your aura. If you're a dark aura character, maybe you're much better at defending, maybe you're much better at responding with a counterattack of identifying enemy weaknesses. If you're a light aura character, then perhaps you're better at initiating combat, and you get certain bonuses when you strike first. There's all kinds of ways that you could really interestingly intertwine the spirituality that the game could have had with the combat systems of the game. And I don't think it would have taken all that much research in order to get the knowledge base to do this in a competent, in a proficient way. Now, I understand that Experiment 101 is a small team, and I think, honestly, they've done a wonderful job with Biomutant. There's a lot about this game that is very beautiful, and here I am making a video talking about how I would like it to be better, perhaps how a sequel could be better. I'm really enjoying this game, and I want Experiment 101 to succeed because I think that they have a lot of ambition, a lot of heart, and a lot of creativity. There is a lot of beauty in this game, and I am looking forward to continuing to play it, to actually start the main quest, which I've barely scratched the surface of. But I think that Biomutant could have done a better job being faithful to its Eastern spiritual inspirations if Experiment 101 had been just a little bit more thoughtful about how to translate real Taoist understanding into the game that is clearly inspired by Eastern beliefs and practices. Now, all that said, I think that people should give Biomutant a chance. I think that people should play this game, should see what this game has to offer, and support this team that did such a great job on this game. The game is good. It has so much heart. So give it a chance. See if you think it has the same sort of spiritual identity crisis that I am claiming it has in this video. Thanks for watching, and if you want more content like this, please like and subscribe and leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video.